All right, today we're diving into a brand new report that's basically a survival guide for the tech world of 2026. And look, if you're in tech or even thinking about getting into it, you need to hear this. The rules of the game, well, they've been completely rewritten. So let's explore what that actually means for you. So the report kicks things off with this, and wow, it is a pretty dramatic statement. This isn't just about learning a few new tools, folks. We're talking about a fundamental shift in what it even means to be a developer. The role of just turning a request into code, that's becoming obsolete and fast. The stakes? They're incredibly high. The industry is looking for a whole new kind of professional now. So to really get a handle on 2026, we first have to understand what the report calls the Great Filter. Basically, this was this chaotic period, think 2024, 2025, where AI went from being a helpful assistant to straight up replacing the most boring, repetitive parts of a developer's job. And this filter, well, it completely changed how engineering teams are structured and created the brand new and honestly much tougher market we're going to break down right now. All right, so that brings us to our first section, Tech's Great Reset. You know, all those old playbooks for landing a job, for building a career, you can pretty much toss them out the window. They're gone. We're going to explore the new rules for a completely new game. And this is the new ideal professional that's emerged from all that chaos. You can pretty much forget the title software developer. The new goal, the new North Star, is to become an AI native systems architect. And just listen to the language here. Orchestrates, architects, exercises high-level product judgment. This is so different, right? It's not about writing code line by line anymore. It's about designing and managing these big, complex, intelligent systems. The kind of systems that are probabilistic, that don't always do exactly what you expect. Okay, so the million-dollar question is, how do you actually win in this new world? How do you become this new kind of professional? Well, we're going to walk through the exact path laid out in the report. We'll cover the new skills you absolutely need, what the market really looks like now, how you can prove you've got the goods, and maybe most importantly, your secret weapon, your human advantage. All right, let's dive into our next section, the new skills stack. And I'm not talking about a minor update here. This is a complete overhaul of the toolkit you need to be effective in 2026. Okay, to really get this, you have to understand this core paradigm shift. We've moved from what we could call software 1.0, deterministic systems where a human writes every single explicit rule, to software 2.0. This is a whole different beast. It's probabilistic. The human's job is to curate the data so the models can learn the rules themselves. The real value now, it's in system orchestration. Your job is no longer to be the bricklayer, it's to be the architect. So what does that mean for programming languages? Well, the landscape has pretty much solidified around what the report calls the 2026 Functional Quartet. You've got Python, still the king for AI orchestration. Then there's TypeScript, which is absolutely critical for building those interfaces where humans and AI actually meet. And for the heavy lifting underneath, the high-performance stuff, you've got Rust and Go. Seriously, don't think of these as options. Think of them as the 4 essential non-negotiable layers of any modern AI stack. But it's not just about the languages. On top of that quartet, 2 skills have become the new absolute baseline, like table stakes. First up is AI literacy. And I don't just mean knowing how to use AI tools. I mean deeply understanding model limitations, token economics, the whole agentic stack. And second, there's prompt decomposition. This is a real engineering skill now. It's about taking a huge, complex goal and breaking it down into small, reliable, and, this is key, testable subtasks that an AI agent can actually pull off. Okay, so with these new skills in mind, let's talk about the job market itself. And we need to be really direct here. The landscape is harsh and it is deeply, deeply polarized. Understanding this new terrain is absolutely critical for your survival. Yeah, just look at this number for a second. -60%. That's the drop in traditional junior engineer roles compared to before AI really took hold. It's staggering. That whole apprenticeship model, where you learn on the job by fixing tiny bugs and writing boilerplate code, a lot of that has just been automated away. And this quote really explains the brutal economics behind that number. Companies are no longer willing to pay a premium for a human to learn on the job when an AI can perform the same ticket-taking work faster. I mean, it makes a kind of cold, hard sense, right? The bottom line is, the market now expects someone just starting out to have the productivity of what a mid-level engineer had just a few years back. The bar has been raised a lot. But wait, it's not all bad news. Not at all. Because while those old roles are disappearing, a massive new opportunity has exploded onto the scene, the AI native startup. And in these new companies, engineers aren't just coders anymore. The report calls them captains, and I love that. You're directing whole fleets of AI agents, and you're making a huge impact with these super lean, super powerful teams. And this chart on wage polarization, it illustrates the economic reality perfectly. On one side, you have AI native skills, and look at that, a 56% wage premium. That's huge. On the other side, you have generic coding, and what's happening? Stagnating wages. The market could not be screaming any louder about what it values. It is all about rewarding those system-level thinkers. So this brings us to the next big challenge, building your proof of work. In a world where an AI can write a perfect cover letter and even pass a basic coding test, how do you prove that you are the real deal? Well, the answer, according to this report, is you have to shift your entire focus to providing undeniable, verifiable proof of your work. So let's take a look at what that actually means. First things first, let's cover what not to do. Your old portfolio from, say, 2020, it's probably a collection of red flags now. I'm talking about things like to-do apps, weather widgets, movie databases. These days, that stuff is actually a negative signal. It basically tells a recruiter that you're stuck in an old mindset and you haven't adapted. So what does a standout 2026 portfolio look like instead? You need to be building what the report calls agent systems. These are systems where autonomous AI agents are actually carrying out complex tasks. Check out these archetypes: a self-healing pipeline, a research swarm of agents that collaborate, a data analyst agent. Projects like these prove that you can design and manage complex, sometimes unpredictable systems, and that is the exact skill that companies are absolutely desperate for right now. Okay, and this next point is a really critical mental shift you have to make. In 2026, the code itself, it's cheap, and AI can generate tons of it. What's become the premium artifact, the thing that proves you're an architect and not just a code paster, is the documentation. It's the proof that you can explain the why behind your system, your strategic thinking. That's the premium product now. So, what does that mean for your portfolio? It means it needs these critical artifacts. You need clear architecture diagrams, maybe using something like Mermaid.js to show how all the pieces fit together. You need architectural decision records, or ADRs, which are just short documents that explain the why behind your big technical choices and trade-offs. And, so important, you need evaluation frameworks that prove you rigorously tested your AI agents to make sure they're reliable. All right, this brings us to our final section, and maybe the most important one, your human advantage roadmap. Because as AI gets better and better at the raw technical execution, the skills that become truly valuable, the ones that give you a real durable career moat, are the ones that are uniquely human. And these are your human-centric moats. These are your superpowers. First up, product judgment. An AI can build whatever you ask it to, but it has no idea what's worth building. That's on you. Second, ethical AI governance. This is about building in the safety guardrails to create systems that are reliable and don't go off the rails. And third, translation and collaboration. This is that timeless skill of talking to a business person, understanding their fuzzy idea, and bridging that gap to a concrete technical plan. And the great thing is, the report lays out this super actionable 12-month plan to get you there. It's a clear journey. You start with the foundations in months 1 to 3. Then you become the builder in months 4 to 6, making those cool agentic projects. Then, months 7 to 9, you become the architect, learning to document everything properly. And finally, you become the professional, proving your worth out in the open. And this quote from the report's conclusion, it just says it all, doesn't it? Stop building apps, start building systems. Stop learning syntax, start learning orchestration. That right there is the core mindset shift. It's about thinking bigger, moving from the nitty-gritty details to high-level strategy. So we're going to end with this question for you to think about. In an age of artificial intelligence, where technical execution is becoming a commodity, how are you going to prove that your human judgment is your most valuable asset? Because really, that's the whole game now. The central challenge for your career in 2026 and beyond is proving that your unique human intelligence is the most valuable thing you bring to the table.